Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with 10 Lords a Leaping by Matt Tressel. So, this continues our countdown to Christmas. Every even day, we will be doing a countdown for the 12 days of Christmas. I think that's pretty fun. And then the other odd days, we are doing just generally holiday-themed puzzles, which may or may not be Christmas or other holidays that happen around this time of year. All right, there's one that is going to be particularly fun that most of you have not heard of, so look forward to that one. All right, cool. So what are the rules to this puzzle? We have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules. So in each row, each column, and each 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. We also have these top hats representing our lords, 10 of them, I assume. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, there's 10 lords leaping outside the grid. They all have a digit in them. 1s, 4s, 6s, 5s. So what that digit represents is starting with the cell closest to the clue, like this 3 here, starting with the cell closest to the clue. The sum of all the cells up to, but not including the digit n, so in this case the 3, must sum to 10. So let's say this was our 3. Then that means starting from here, we include all the cells until we reach the 3, not including the 3. And so these 3 cells would add to 10. But we don't know where the 3 goes, right? So we have to find where the 3 goes, and then it's going to be not involved in our 10 sum, but all the digits before it will be. And that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. Okay, so I've never done this constraint before, but it sounds really interesting. So often if it's the first time, especially if it's the first time you've encountered a constraint, thinking about how it works before you try to get started can often be a huge boon. So let's think together about how this is working. So the first thing I'm thinking about is the digit that's in the top hat is never going to be part of our sum to 10. So for example, this 1 isn't part of our sum to 10. So that limits our sum to 10, right? Because 2, 3, 4 would be our, I'm thinking about summing to 10 in 3 because we're trying to figure out where this 1 can actually go. So let's take a step back and first think about how many digits can be involved in a sum to 10. And the answer is up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 adds to 10. So if we tried to use 5 digits to add to 10, that would be no good because 1 through 5 would be our minimum, even ignoring what the top hat value is, and that's already 15. So, but the only way we're going to get to 4 is if we're allowed to use all of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the only ones of these that can actually use 4 are these 5s and 6s in the top hats. So those could be in 4 length. Otherwise, we're limited to 3 length or less. Now, the thing I was going to think about next is, okay, what if we restrict our 3 length? Like we can't have a 1 in it. Well, 2, 3, 4 adds to 9. So the only way, so let's actually think about this, right? 9 is less than 10, so we are going to be able to do it in 3. But how many ways do we have to do it in 3? And 9 is 1 less than 10. So that's still going to only be 1 way to add to it. Why do I know that? Well, from this 2, 3, 4, I have to add 1. So I can't add 1 to the 2, I'd have 2 3s. I can't add 1 to the 3, I'd have 2 4s. So the only digit I can add 1 to is the 4 to get 2, 3, 5. So if the 1 is here, then this must be 2, 3, 5. That's the conclusion. Now we could move the 1 closer. So the 1 could be here. It could also be here, and then these 2 would sum to 10, and it would have to be a 4, 6 pair. But the 1 can't be here because then this would be a 10 on its own. So our conclusion is 1's in one of these 2. And then we can also limit these 2 cells, which are always going to be involved in the 10 sum. They're either going to be 2, 3, 5, if the 1 is here, or they're going to be 4, 6. Unfortunately, that's any digit other than 1. So not immediately helpful. But this is what we're going to be thinking about. So how about the 2? Definitely the 2 is limited to these 3 right away, right? Because if the 2 is missing, we can't do it in 4. Let's actually do that for all the horizontals before we think further. 3 is going to be over here. So I guess we can mark the 2's here and the 3's here as well. 5 and 6 can be in 4. So we're not as... Oh, sorry. Am I thinking about this backwards? Sorry, I thought about this back. Let's back up. So you're probably very confused or yelling at me. We can do it. We can do the sum in 2 or we can do the sum in 3. And it's not going to involve the 2. Which means that the 2 is in one of these 2, actually. So I think the verticals are the better ones then in that case. Sorry about that. I thought about that wrong, even though I just explained it. Again, it's a new constraint to me, so I'm going to be making some mistakes. But anyway, this 3, let's think about that. Just let's think about it one more time. The 3 cannot be here because that would sum to 15. 3 can't be here because we need to use the 3 in there or sum. So the 3 is going to be in one of these two. Because the 3 can't be here, this would have to be a 10 on its own. So the 3 is here. I think we can just safely say the 4 is here. As long as we're less than 5, we can do that. So then the 4 is here. Okay. So we got the 1, the 4, the 3, and the 4. Okay. Now we also have the 2's limited here. So the 3 is limited here. That's not really an is it? Yeah, I was for some reason thinking these corner marks meant we didn't think it could be here, but it can be. 5 and 6 feel less restricted. Excuse me. All right. So we got to think a little bit more about this, obviously. I want to think about the 2. So if we put a 2 here, then this would have to be 4, 6 pair. The 4 is pointing up would tell us that it would be exactly like this. So I wonder if that interferes with our ability to add. Yes. Okay. Actually, the 6 is interesting. The 6 is more interesting than I realized because, and the 4. Oh, okay, hold on. No, we can place the 4 first because we already have it marked here. So I marked the 4 in one of these two, but what I forgot is if we put the 4 here, we need to add to 10 and 2 here, and 4, 6 isn't available. It's the only way to do it. So that actually doesn't work. That places the 4 here and the 4 here. So now this adds to 10 and 3, and this adds to 10 and 3. 2, 3, 5 works perfectly. If we include the 1, then the other 2 digits add to 9. So they'd have to be 3, 6. So there's always a 3. Right, so if I exclude the 3 and the 4, the minimum I can do is 1, 2, 5, which adds to 7. What am I thinking here? Okay, so this is the thinking. Without 3 and 4, I mean, we can't just go through all the options again, but I would like to think about it from different angles, make sure I'm not making a mistake. So without the 3 and 4, I'm saying if we exclude the 3, we already are excluding the 4, then the digits available are 1, 2, 5, 6. So how are we adding to 10? Well, we're certainly not using both the 5 and 6. That adds to 11. So we're going to use, and we're not using, and we're going to have to use at least one of 5 or 6. So it's either going to be 1, 2, 5 or 1, 2, 6, neither of which add to 10. So that doesn't work. So we're going to be using the 3, and this can't be 3 because the 3 is over here. So the 3 is somewhere down here. All right, this 6 has a similar restriction in that we can't put the 6 here. 6 can't go here, or here, or here, because we can't do 4, 6 here. So 6 is actually over here. And this can't be a 6 because we'd have to do 1 through 5 here. So we're either doing a 6 here with 1, 2, 3, 4, or we're doing a 6 here with, I believe, 2, 3, 5, or 1, 4, 5. Okay. So that's less restrictive than our 4 was. Okay, so what are our options here again? So we know we're using the 3. So, and we're using the 1 or the 2 with it. So 1, 3 adds to 4. So we could do 1, 3, 6, or we could do 1, or 2, 3, 5. Yeah. 1, 3, 6, or 2, 3, 5. All right. How about this 6? So we know it's in one of these two. Do we have a similar restriction? No, we have excluding the 6 doesn't seem to be. Do we have to use the 5? Actually, I'm not. No, because 1, 2, 3, 4 doesn't use the 5. Okay, I have an interesting deduction here. If the 6 were here, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Where does that put the 5? It puts the 5 here. And then now we would be adding to 0 before the 5, not to 10. So this is actually not this. Oopsie. This is not the 6. This is our 6. Because this top hat was a 5 clue. That's why that worked. Now, this being a 6, we could stick a 4 here and the 3 here. That would work. But these two can't add to 4. Okay, because the 3 is not involved in the sum, right? So if the 3 was here, these two would need to add to 4 because we already have 6, and 1, 3 is the only way. We don't have the 3 anymore. So this can't be the 3. This is our 3, and this is a 4. All right, finally making progress. This is 1, 2, 5. I'm going to mark that out. We know there's a 3 down here somewhere. Let's mark that as well. All right, so now we know we add to 10 in these 3. It might be easier to think about what are these 2 digits going to be. So we know that these are going to add to 16 because these add to 10 and this is a 6, so 16. And we know the entire row adds to 21 because 1 through 6 is 21. So if we already have 16 here, how do we get to 21? Well, these are going to add to 5 and the 4 is gone. So they have to add to 5 as a 2, 3. And so that means that this is 2, 3, 6 and this is 1, 4, 5 and this is 1, 5. That's not a 4. And 1, 4, 5 does add to 10, so that works. Just as a double check. Now the 4 got placed here, so actually these add to 10. This can't be a 6 because then this would have to be a 1, 3 pair, and neither of these can be 3. So that's not a 6. So now I'm thinking about whether we can restrict this further. I think we said with the 4 we must use a 3, right? I think we proved that earlier. Because without the 3 and the 4, it's 1, 2, 5, 6, and that doesn't work. Yeah, we proved that earlier. So we need a 3 in one of these, which has to go here. All right, so it's even better than excluding the 6. We can just place the 3. So now these 2 we know add to 7. So we could do 1 plus 6, or we could do 5 plus 2. All right. What's next? When I placed the 6s here, I should have realized that affected this 1. This can't be a 1, because this would have to be 4, 6, and the 6 isn't available. So this is our 1. I think restricting 4, 6s is much more powerful than I've been giving it credit. 2, 5, 6 here. So are there any more that I've considered 4, 6 for that can't actually be? What about this 5? I haven't really thought about this 5 at all. Where's the 5 going to go? Okay, so if this was 5, this would be a 4, 6 pair. Now, does that seem reasonable? This would be 6, this would be 4. I think so. Yeah, so 5's one of these 2. Okay, am I missing? Maybe it's this 5 here. Oh yeah, this can't be a 5. Okay, just because of this top hat. So that's 1, that's 5. So this can't be a 5 because that can't be 4, 6, right? Excuse me. Ooh. The place is the 5 in this row. It's not a 5. All right, so what are we doing with this? I think we... can we do 1, 2, 3, 4 down here? No, because none of these can be 4. So that means the 5's not going to go here. Oh, 5 could never have gone here. So this is our 5. That removes the 5 from here. 5's down here. So now these 2 just need to add to 9. So we better use the 6 and then the 3. All right, that's 2. 3 in the corner celebrating. That's 2. All right, so down here we need 3, 6 pair. And then this needs to be, this can't be a 2. So that's 1, that's 2. All right, 1, 5 pair. Let's just get these pairs written out. We need the 2, 4. We need the 3, 6. All right, well, we know that's not a 6. So that's our 3, that's our 6. Because this 6 top hat. If the 5 went here, this would be 4. That looks perfect. Okay, let's see if there's an easier way to resolve this, because I'm not entirely sure. We placed the 1 here, so these 3 add to 10. Without a 1, so remember it's 2, 3, 5. So this has to be the 3. That's 6. That's 6. We get the 2 and the 6 here. And then we know that this... sorry, the 1's here. So this adds to 7. So it's not 1, 6. It's not 3, 4. So it has to be 2, 5. Yeah, and we said this was 2, 3, 5. Okay, that works. So that's 4, that's 1, that's 5. This is a 1, giving us 5 and 1 and 2 and 5, 4 and 2. This is the 3, this is the 4, and we're done. So just to double check, yeah, that's 5 with 4, 6. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 with a 6 here. All right. I think that ending could have been done several ways. Cool. Well, this was a neat puzzle, Matt. I enjoyed that. At first it felt a little hopeless, but we had to think about the constraint more and more, and we learned about it as we went. And this puzzle did a good job of teaching that, actually. So very cool. Let me know how you did, and if you enjoyed this, why don't leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.